When a massive shark suddenly began chasing a diver deep in the Atlantic Ocean, the onlookers watching from the boat held their breath in horror. The predator was not just following the man, it was aggressively pushing against him with its enormous body, launching repeated attacks on the helpless diver. The crew on the surface prepared for the worst, fearing that at any moment they might witness a tragedy. But then, something extraordinary happened. The diver, instead of panicking, reached out and grabbed the shark by its head with both hands. What followed next left everyone in complete shock and sparked cries of amazement among the witnesses. For Josh Eccles, an experienced diver from the coastal city of Jupiter, Florida, the day had started like any other. Over the course of his career, he had completed more than 1,000 dives in the Atlantic, working closely with Emerald Dive Charters. His life revolved around the ocean, conducting 3 dives daily, marveling at the underwater wonders, and frequently encountering marine life up close. But this particular day was destined to be different. As soon as he submerged into the crystal-clear waters, Josh felt an unusual sense of unease. There was something off about the atmosphere of the underwater world that day. Moments later, movement in the distance caught his eye. A large lemon shark was swimming straight toward him. Unlike its usual behavior, the shark wasn't merely passing by. Instead, it was approaching him with an unusual persistence, as if it had a specific purpose in mind. "I'm used to their presence. They often swim near us, but they usually keep their distance," Josh later explained in an interview. But this female was behaving in a completely different way. She was literally pushing against me with her body, then strangely flipping onto her back, exposing her belly. At first, Josh's heart pounded with fear. It was a natural reaction. Lemon sharks can grow over 10 feet long and weigh hundreds of pounds. As apex predators, they have the power to hunt other sharks and large marine creatures. Even for a seasoned diver, being confronted so aggressively by such a massive animal was overwhelming. However, years of experience and a keen sense of observation made Josh realize something crucial. This wasn't an act of aggression. The shark was not attacking him. Instead, it seemed to be pleading for help. There was something deeply familiar about its body language, reminiscent of an injured animal seeking assistance. After multiple nudges and the repeated act of exposing its underside, Josh decided to take a closer look. What he saw made him forget his fear entirely. When she lifted her belly, I noticed something metallic protruding from her skin, Josh recalled. When I reached out and touched it carefully, I realized it was a deeply embedded fishing hook. Understanding the situation, Josh made a decision that required immense bravery. He was going to try and free the predator from its painful burden. His first attempt failed. The shark, feeling discomfort from the contact, instinctively recoiled and disappeared into the deep blue. The team watching from the surface assumed the encounter was over. But then, something truly astonishing happened. Minutes later, the shark returned. As if it had understood that the human was trying to help, it approached once again, this time displaying even more trust. Josh, now determined to complete what he had started, acted with remarkable courage. He firmly but carefully held the shark's head still, ensuring it remained as calm as possible. Then, he closely examined the embedded hook. It was definitely a large, heavy-duty fishing hook, he later described. It was buried deep and wasn't coming out easily. Using all his skill, Josh began slowly pulling the foreign object from the shark's flesh. He worked methodically, increasing the pressure bit by bit, making sure not to cause additional damage. The process was excruciatingly slow, but after several tense moments, the sharp metal was finally dislodged. What he pulled out left him stunned. The hook was the size of my palm, Josh recounted in disbelief. And I'm not a small guy. I'm nearly 6 feet tall and weigh about 200 pounds. Imagine the pain this poor creature had endured all this time. Based on his assessment, the shark had likely swallowed the hook more than a year ago. Over time, the metal had worked its way through its body, causing unbearable pain and distress. Yet somehow, against all odds, the animal had survived. And even more incredibly, it had actively sought help from a creature of an entirely different world, one that was often seen as a threat to marine life. But the most unforgettable part of the encounter was what happened next. Instead of immediately swimming away, the freed shark circled around its rescuer and his team, moving in a slow, almost solemn manner. The footage captured by Josh's diving crew documented this incredible moment. The massive predator, once burdened by agony, now moving with a grace that could only be interpreted as gratitude. The way she moved around us, it felt like she was saying thank you, Josh recalled. It's difficult to describe in words, but you could feel it. It was a moment of pure connection. Then, with a final flick of her tail, the shark disappeared into the open ocean, free at last. Josh and his team left the water that day with more than just an incredible experience. They carried a deeper understanding of the intelligence and emotions of marine life. The story of the rescued lemon shark quickly spread across social media and news channels, challenging the common perception of sharks as mindless, killing machines. In a world where sharks are often demonized, stories like this serve as a powerful reminder of their complex nature. They are not just fearsome predators, they are living beings capable of suffering. And, as this incredible encounter showed, perhaps even capable of trust and gratitude. However, beyond the inspiring rescue, the story also highlights a darker truth: the devastating impact of human activities on marine life. The fishing hook lodged in the shark's body was a stark reminder of the damage caused by industrial fishing. Thousands of marine creatures, including sharks, turtles, and dolphins, suffer every year due to discarded fishing equipment. Many are not as fortunate as this lemon shark. They die slow and painful deaths, trapped by human negligence. For Josh, the experience reinforced his commitment to ocean conservation. He continues to dive off the coast of Jupiter, hoping that one day he might cross paths with his rescued friend once more. In the meantime, he shares his story, hoping to inspire others to respect and protect the magnificent creatures that call the ocean home. Because sometimes, even the most feared predators need a helping hand.